Number 11. Although Master Gautama says this, still the Brahmins think thus. Brahmins are the highest caste, heirs of Brahma. What do you think, Asalayana? Suppose a consecrated Khattiya king were to assemble here 100 men of different birth and say to them, "Come, sirs, let any here who have been born into a Khattiya clan or a Brahmin clan or a royal clan take an upper stick of fine quality wood and light a fire and produce heat. And also let any who have been born into an outcast clan, a trapper clan, a weaker workers clan, a cartwrights clan, or a scavengers clan take an upper fire stick made from a dog's drinking trough, from a pig's trough, from a dustbin, or from castor oil wood, and light a fire and produce heat." What do you think, Asalayana? When a fire is lit and heat is produced by someone in the first group, will that fire have a flame, a color, and radiance, and will it be possible to use it for the purposes of fire? Well, when a fire is lit and heat is produced by someone of the second group, the fire would have no flame, no color, and no radiance, and it would not be possible to use it for the purposes of fire. The student replied, "No, Master Gautama, when a fire is lit and heat is produced by someone of the first group, the fire would have a flame, a color, and radiance, and it will be possible to use it for the purposes of fire. And when the fire is lit and heat is produced by someone of the second group, the fire too will have a flame, a color, and radiance, and it will be possible to use it for the purposes of fire. For all fire has a flame, a color, and a radiance, and it is possible to use all fire for the purposes of fire." Then the Buddha replied, "On the strength of what argument or with the support of what authority did the Brahmins in this case say thus? Brahmins are the highest caste, heirs of Brahma." So number 11, let's take a look. There's one word that I'm not sure what it means. Trough. Let's take a look. Trough. Okay. It's actually pronounced as trough. A long, narrow, open container for animals to eat or drink out of. And this word consecrated, to declare, to make or declare sacred, dedicate formally to a religious or divine purpose. So a sacred Khattiya king. So here the king says, suppose if the king says, "Whoever born into Khattiya clan or Brahmin clan, pick up a wood and then try to produce heat, light a fire and produce heat." And also applies to the rest of the clans, whether you are caste, trapper, weaker workers, cartwrights, scavengers clan. Okay, they take an upper stick too, but the upper stick is not the fine quality, but whatever you take from the dog's drinking trough, or from dustbin, from wherever you can take from the street. So here the Buddha says, whenever these two groups use this stick, light a fire, will they produce the same fire? So the answer is yes, they will produce the same fire. Okay, number 12, Sister Choi Kon, would you like to read?
Although Master Gautama says this, still the Brahmins think thus. Brahmins are the highest caste, heir of Brahma. What do you think, Asalaya? Suppose a Khattiya youth were to unite with a Brahmin girl, and a son was born from their union. Should a son born from Khattiya youth and a Brahmin girl be called a Khattiya after the father, or a Brahmin after the mother? He could be called both, Master Gautama.
Thanks, Sister Jaquan. Now this is where the Buddha starts to mix the Khattiya with the Brahmin. Khattiya youth and the Brahmin girl. If a son were born from their union, should they be called a Khattiya or should they be called a Brahmin? And the Buddha asked this. And he could be called both, Master Gautama. Okay. And 13, Sister Saikyam, would you like to read?
What do you think, Asalayana? Suppose a Brahmin youth here were to unite with a Khattiya girl, and a son were to be born from their union. Should the son born from a Brahmin youth and a Khattiya girl be called a Khattiya after the mother, or a Brahmin after the father? He could be called both, Master Gautama.
Okay, thanks, Sister Saikyam. So this time the Buddha swap around. Now the Buddha starts with a Brahmin youth and a Khattiya girl. Yeah. Previously, it was a Khattiya youth and a Brahmin girl. Yeah. So the same reply happened. It can be called both Brahmin and Khattiya. Yeah. This is like when, I had recently I know someone who, when I asked her, and she, when I asked about her, and then she said, oh, she's actually Indian Chinese because her parents, one is Indian and the other one is Chinese. Yeah. So it can be called Indian and Chinese. It could be called both, Master Gautama. Okay, next, Sister Billy, would you like to read?
What do you think, Asalayana? Suppose a mare were to be mated with a male donkey and a foal were to be born as a result. Should the foal be called a horse after the mother or a donkey after the father? It is a mule, Master Gautama, since it does not belong to either kind. I see the difference in this last case, but I see no difference in either of the former cases.
Okay, thanks, Sister Billy.
Thank you.
So here, the Buddha used the animal instead. A mare were to be mated with a male donkey. So this is like a crossbreed. A mare would be some kind of a horse, but let me double check. Yeah. So a mare is a female of a horse. And then a foal to be born as the result. What is a foal? A foal is a young horse or related animal. If this were to be mated, mare with a male donkey, so it'd be called a horse after the mother or donkey after the father. And then the student replied, it is a mule, Master Gautama. So let's take a look what is mule. The offspring of a donkey and a horse. Okay, so here the student is confused. He sees the difference in this case, but no difference in either of the former cases. Okay, let's continue first and then we'll come back to this one. Number 15, Sister Aiken, would you like to read?
What do you think, Asalayana? Suppose there were two Brahmin students who were brothers. born of the same mother, one studious and intelligent, and one neither studious nor intelligent. Which of them would Brahmins feed first, at a funeral feast, or at the ceremonial offering, or at the sacrificial feast, or at a feast for guests? On such occasions, Brahmins would first feed the ones who were studious and intelligent. Master Gautama, for how could what is given to one who is neither studious nor intelligent bring great fruit?
Okay, thanks, sister, again. This one is interesting to me. So there are two Brahmin students. One is studious and intelligent, the other one is not studious nor intelligent. So they would ask, which one will you feed first in like, let's say in a ceremony or in a funeral feast or in any event? Yeah. So here the student replied, they would feed first the one who is studious and intelligent. Why? Because if you feed the not studious, not intelligent, yeah, that guy being not the intelligent would not bring great fruit to other people. Yeah. So this time the student discriminate based on their mental capacity. Yeah. So if one has a higher mental capacity, they will prioritize them, because if they get fit, they can be productive and they can be of use to the people around them. I think this is the reasoning behind. Okay, number 16, Sister Jolene, would you like to read?
What do you think, Asalayana? Suppose there were two Brahmin students who were brothers, born of the same mother, one studious and intelligent, but immoral and of bad character, and one neither studious nor intelligent, but virtuous and of good character. Which of them would Brahmins feed first at a funeral feast, or at a ceremonial offering, or at a sacrificial feast, or at a feast for guests? On such occasions, Brahmins would feed first the one who was neither studious nor intelligent, but virtuous and of good character, Master Gautama. And for how could what is given to one who is immoral and of bad character bring great fruit?
Thanks, Sister Jolene.
Thanks, bro.
Now this is an interesting twist. The Buddha added not just intelligent, but the Buddha added character, the virtuous, immoral. Okay, firstly, the immoral and bad character to the intelligent person, and then the Buddha add virtuous and of good character to the not intelligent person. Yeah. Now the student changed their answer. The student would feed first the one who was neither studious nor intelligent, but virtuous of good character. So in this case, we can see that virtuous and good character trumps intelligence. Okay, I'm not sure if Lawrence Long is here. Can you help to read the rest of the sutta? Okay, can't hear you. You're muted.
I'm using the phone, so the font very small. Can't see well.
Oh, okay. Then I will read the rest of the sutta. Number 17. First, Asalayana, you took your stand on birth. And after that, you took your stand on scriptural learning. And after that, you have come to take your stand on the very ground that purification is for all four castes, as I describe it. When this was said, the Brahmin student Asalayana sat silent and dismayed, his shoulders dropping and head down, glum and without response. This is when you know you have been defeated by the Buddha. This is taken from Majjhima Nikaya 93, Asalayana Sutta. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let's come back a little bit at this number 14 very quickly. I think the Buddha here uses an animal as a contrast because animal is not part of the 4 castes. So if you combine crossbreed 2 different animals, they can be called differently. Yeah. If you combine a female horse with a male donkey, then it can be called a mule, can be called differently. But the previous 2 cases, 12 and 13, both are humans, Khattiya and Brahmins. So it can be combined and called both. I think that is the difference between 12, 13 and 14. That's how I would interpret this. Any additional comments or questions?
I think this reflects our society in today's world as well. It's like the school grades the children with grades and with how intelligent they are. And children are very more respected in A classes when their results are better, right? In that sense, the children feel more happy and proud when they're in A classes. And I think our system do not really grade character or maybe grade morale even in schools, right? I mean, there was not a system to even grade, say, oh, this child is much more morale and much more, behavior, but you grade you how intelligent you are. So even your society is also a bit like that. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that as we progress, our government take into consideration of more moral education in our school system as well. Yeah.
Yes, I completely agree with Sister Jolene. Yeah. So I'm not sure Singapore's education system, but back in Indonesia, we had a few moral education class. Yeah. In Indonesia, we call that PPKN. Can't recall exactly what it means, but basically the content is all about moral education. Actually, last time when I was in that class, I couldn't really appreciate, oh, why should we have this class? So unimportant. But now as I grew up, I felt like, oh, this is actually much more important than all the other classes. Yeah. So I completely agree with Sister Jolie here. A lot of people, all the students were graded based on their mastery of the subjects, but none were really graded based on their moral virtues. Yeah. So we need to tweak the system. Yeah, as Sister Jolie said, add moral education, integrate it into our education system. I think that's a very good idea. Okay, thanks Sister Jolie for the comment. And anyone else would like to add? If not, Sister Billy, would you like to do the dedication?
愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，不愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。
Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a virtuous Friday ahead. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Have a safe yourself.
Have a safe journey and
Enjoyable reunion with your family, myself.
Don't dream about us, okay? Very relaxed.
Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Sorry, Tumpong. Okay.
谢谢你 brother. Thanks everyone. See you guys. Bye bye.